Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have Haitian voodoo. So a little bit of history. It all started in the 16th century with the Atlantic slave trade. And some African slaves were transported to Hispaniola, which was what Haiti was at the time, because the Arawak Indians were malnourished. They were not working as hard as the slave owners wanted them to. And in a slave owner's perspective, they sucked. So that's why they brought the African slaves right in the middle of the Atlantic slave trade. And then obviously they had to outlaw their religious practices solely, like every religious practice in Africa was outlawed. And it forced them to mix with the Catholic religion at the time. And then, go figure, a slave revolt happened in 1804, and then that led to the formation of Haiti. And with the formation of Haiti, thank goodness, the country doesn't really identify with the Catholic faith or really any religion, so that just allowed more religions to grow, especially voodoo. So that is where they stand now. So it's just kind of like a real free country, religious-wise.
Moving on to more of the beliefs and what they actually do believe as a culture. They believe in the spirit realm and that our lives are intertwined with the spirits, which includes the dead and the ancestors. As Dale was explaining the history, it became somewhat Americanized in a way, and it kind of took on the form of different amulets and jewelry and rituals and dolls. A lot of people tend to think of like a voodoo doll when they think of it, but that actually has to do with a lot of cultural appropriation issues. Voodoo in and of itself is very spiritualistic, and it has to do with a lot of rituals, which includes different chanting, different dances, and very like deep personal spiritual practices. So often in brands and television, it's portrayed in a very juvenile way, which can be harmful in terms of respecting the culture itself. They believe in the spirit realm, as I was saying earlier, and they believe that the spirits control their lives and that you can communicate with them via those rituals. They also believe in healers, as we're leading into the health perspective of things, and they believe that these healers have a role in connecting to the spiritual realm through the faith.
And then, so voodoo as a religion, it's often culturally appropriated in modern consumerism. Yeah, that was mine. So in order to honorably respect and honor voodoo patients, it's important to have a deep understanding of the causes of illness within voodoo. So the first main kind of cause of illness within the voodoo religion is neglection of the laos, or spirits. So laos are seen as kind of protectors within the voodoo religion, and so but only when rituals that honor the laos are performed. So neglecting the laos and not performing those rituals or ceremonies kind of shows the spirits that they don't really care about them and that they haven't showed proper respect for them. And as a result, or kind of form of punishment, they'll send an illness down upon that person. And another cause of illness within voodoo is the consequence of a curse. It's usually sent by a jealous person. So any episodes of depression, mental health struggles, anxiety is usually interpreted as a curse. So the person targeted by the curse, like I said, was sent by a jealous person, but sometimes the curse may have a curative effect on the person. This is because the targeted person is usually described as attractive, intelligent, financially stable, or successful, and the person who sent that curse is jealous of those attributes. So in a way, I guess it kind of makes the affected person feel better about themselves. And then another cause of illness within voodoo is if the affected person has not honored the deceased family members. And so within Haitian culture and voodoo itself, family is very important within the culture, so not honoring them and kind of not showing that proper respect could result in an illness. And in order to treat these illnesses, there's a couple things that the affected person can do. The first and kind of main one is honoring the spirits and the spirits of the deceased family members. So kind of acknowledging them, apologizing to them, and asking for grace for not honoring them may help cure a sickness. And then rituals that include cleansing of the person or environment with oils, ointments, wines, or perfumes may also help. Even spreading incense, lighting candles, or even using magical or blessed waters may also help the sickness go away. And this cleansing kind of allows the person to communicate with the spiritual world. So during voodoo ceremonies or rituals, if a spirit responds to the ceremony or the ritual, the spirit is said to ride the afflicted person. So it is through this riding, it's also called possession, that the humans and the sick individuals can communicate with the spiritual world. Houngans, which are male voodoo priests, and mambos, which are female voodoo priests, can also help in treating sicknesses. They can lead ceremonies and certain rituals, and they also may combine certain spiritual and herbal remedies in order to heal a sickness. And then the last form of treatment within voodoo is wearing of a necklace for personal protection. So this necklace usually has some sort of spell, and a necklace is usually only worn if the illness is the result of a curse and the person feels that they need to be protected. And within the healthcare context, many practitioners of voodoo are immigrants from Haiti, and many of them struggle with mental health challenges, and a lot of these challenges are from trauma associated with migration and immigrating to the United States. So some of these challenges could include economic instability, family separation, legal challenges, discrimination, language barriers, or feelings of isolation. So along with this, mental health issues may also result in a failure to honor the spirits while the person is immigrating to the United States or while they're overseas. And it's also important to note within the healthcare context that many voodoo and Haitian immigrants will not voluntarily seek treatment. Most of the times it's social service agencies, courts, or even schools that usually refer them to help and go seek treatment. And encouraging medication and therapy as a form of alleviating symptoms rather than as a form of complete and total healing may make Haitian immigrants more receptive to treatment and medication. And overall, allowing Haitian patients to practice their voodoo beliefs as long as it does not interfere with modern Western medicine techniques is very important within the healthcare context in the United States.
Question time. So Ella, if you don't mind. I'll just start reading the case study. Ella's going to pass them out. But for our case study, it's about a little bit of background. It's about a middle-aged Asian male who was presented to a psychological therapy wing